Today, I'm going to create an app. I'm going to show you how to use AI to create an app with no technical skills at all. So this is a live stream that's going to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, hopefully. Please, if you're watching this, do me a big favor. Click like or some other reaction and just say some comment to say that you're here, because that will help bump it up in the algorithm and get it shown to some other people, because I think this is really interesting. Haven't seen anybody else do this. We got 30 minutes and I want to build an app from scratch using AI. I think it's going to blow your mind. And what I'm also going to show you is an app I've already built, just from describing it in a sentence or two. And I want you to see how useful that is. And then I'm going to go into why you might want to do this. And I think what I should be able to do actually is go into my Facebook profile and hit highlight, I think it is. How do you actually, there's some which I've never used. If I go like highlight, yeah. Some friends might receive notifications. That's very non-committal. Oh, good. There's 2 people watching. Could you do me? Oh, hi, Claire. How you doing? Thanks for commenting. It helps when people like and comment, and it bumps it up in the algorithm. So why would you want to build your own app? I don't think people quite understood why this is so exciting. Is it just me? I used to be a developer, so I understand what a big shift this is. Building your own website, you know, like an interactive website, not just something that displays what you do. Building an interactive website or building an app that goes on your mobile phone or on the desktop or an iPad or whatever, it's a huge amount of work. Normally, you have to learn multiple programming languages. You have to learn HTML. Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for saying hello. You have to learn HTML and JavaScript and Java, and then there's always technical stuff of like, if you want it to put on the App Store, it's got to go through all sorts of hoops. And if you fail those, it will just get rejected. And you have to keep trying to go through and pass all the kind of checks that they want you to do. And now, you know, that's quite a big technical task, even for somebody who's a developer. Now you could just describe it and it does it. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen, and this will give you an idea of how this actually works. So if I go share screen and share the whole screen, let's do entire screen. Let's do this one. No, that's the wrong one. I want to, yes, it is the right one. I've got 2 screens in front of me. So yeah, you can now see a bit of feedback. The app I'm using today is called Replit, and I like replit.com if you want to go there. Now I'm paying for this. You can start playing with it completely for free, and you can actually have a fair go at it before you pay anything. But you could create apps in this. You can actually create animations in it as well now, I think. Design your website, slide deck, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do an app. You can actually now do animations and other things. And it's got some suggested ideas down here. But basically, we just go in and we describe what we want, and then it creates it. Now, I'm paying for Replit. I'm going to close that because I'm kind of showing you what it looks like when you're not logged in. I'll show you now the version when I am logged in. Have I actually got that open yet? I can't remember if I got that. No, I haven't. Okay. So let's open the Replit actual interface. This is what it looks like when we log in. Yeah, okay. So I've got one app down here that I can show you that I've already built. I'll show you that while we're waiting for this thing to build. What I want to do is I want to ask you what to build. Can you think of an app that we could build that would be fun? We now got 8 people watching. That's good. Thanks. Anyone who's watching, you can press a like button and type something and say hello. That would really help it get bumped up in the feed. Why is it still showing a sort of feedback? Why is it not showing the window over top? Oh, it's a bit, oh, there it is. It is. Okay. What people are saying. Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for commenting. So has anyone got a suggestion for something we could build? Think of it like a really simple app. What I did is I did a bit of brainstorming yesterday of Claude, which is, a general purpose AI, and came up with an idea. And I went through quite a few things. I think it needs to be something simple so people get the idea. And this is the description that it came up with. And if no one has any other ideas, I'm gonna insert this. Hi, Kieran, how you doing? How about a journaling app collecting funny moments? Yeah, I quite like that. Kieran says, "There anything about complicated apps?" Morning, Tracy. Hi, Joanna. A journaling app. Should we try that? Let's try. I want to create. You know what? Let's talk to it. I can talk to it, can't I? How do I? Oh, I don't know how that works. There is a voice mode, but I can't remember how it works in here. I want to create a journaling app specifically to collect happy moments. I'm going to call it a web app. So if you think about what you mean by an app, it's not always abundantly obvious. Some people use it to describe lots of things. So some of them are, sometimes what we mean is an app that goes through the app store that you put on your phone, your iPad, or it goes on the Mac desktop. But sometimes we use that just to mean a website that's interactive. It's more than just a brochure that's saying, like the website for you and your business is probably a fairly simple one if you're anything like me. We're talking here about something that can actually do something clever and interact with you and change according to how you interact with it. So what I've done is I just said, I want to create a journaling web app specifically to collect happy moments, because a web app is one that's easy to build. It's easier to build than like a mobile app. And it's doing it. I'm starting to build your journaling web app for collecting happy moments. I'll set up a database to store these moments, create the backend API routes to manage them. So API is an application programming interface. What it means by that is when it needs to connect to other things on the web, you use an API. It's a way of apps to talk to each other. And generate a beautiful front end where you can view, add, and cherish your entries. And getting the core data structures and the user interface generation started right away. So while it's doing that, somebody just told me, but they can't see it on Facebook. Let me just tell him it's on the main profile. Okay. So it does take a few minutes, unfortunately. So you need I've got something to entertain you. I wonder how it's going to take. So it's going through edit mode, plan mode, changing individual components. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an app I built earlier just to entertain us while it's doing this, right? I'm trying to pull it out into a separate window, and it's a bit probably processor intensive. So this thing is called Sunshine ASAP, as soon as possible, in other words. I built this because I've always wanted this to exist. Yeah, okay. Someone's still trying to get to the... go to my personal profile is what I'm saying. Oh my God, it works. We've done it. I was about to explain my other app, but here is the app. Life moves fast. Take a second to bottle up a little joys, the sudden smiles, and the quiet victories. AI loves the word quiet. A beautiful sunrise. Woke up too early. Finished my project. Blah, blah, blah. Coffee with a friend. Okay, so I'm going to capture a moment. So who is it? Was it Carolyn who suggested this? I can't remember. API is web plumbing, says Kieran. Native app versus web app. Thanks, that's good. I didn't know that terminology. Mike says, I have an idea, a grant finding app. Yeah, so a journaling app collecting funny moments. What happened today? I looked out the window and saw the sun shining. Whoa, it's just broken. We have a glitch. Maybe, you know what? Actually, I should probably publish it before I do this. Open a new tab to test authentication and file uploads. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to publish this to the web and all of you can use it straight away. So let me, if I change the title, I think this will change. Actually, I'll change the URL later. I don't like long, complicated URLs. It's one of my bugbears. Publish. So we've built this app and I can use it on my computer, but how does the rest of the world use it? You need to publish it. Now, one of the reasons I really like Replit, rather than, because there are lots of other things that now do app building, including Base44, Lovable, and some others I can't remember the name of. What I like about Replit is when you're doing a web app, it has hosting built in. So when you build a website, you need to put it somewhere, right? It needs to be on a web server that's always on. Can't be on your computer, because when you go to sleep at night, switch your computer off, nobody will be able to get to it. So it needs to run on a server somewhere in the cloud where anybody can reach it. Now, the problem is if you use Claude Code, for instance, which is one of the ways of building apps, which is very sophisticated, you then have to take that code and you need to work out how to get it to run on a server and be served up to the right people and so on. The nice thing about Replit is you press publish, and after 5 minutes, it's published. So it's going through provision, security scan, build, bundle, promote. Now, there are concerns about security. Like if you build an app like this and everyone starts putting in their funny moments, and then somebody hacks it, takes all those funny moments which are private and then displays them on the web, you know, it's bad news. So the point of the security scan is that theoretically it's going to check for things like that. I have no idea how good it is. So you need to be, when you get to the point where you're going to do a proper app, you really do need to kind of think about what you're doing and whether it's safe enough. Kieran says, gotta love a live demo. Could you post a note on where you started? Donna says, well, basically, so I'm at replit.com. All I did was to recap for those who come in a little bit late, I literally typed one sentence, which is Carolyn's suggestion, right? I want to create a journaling web app specifically to collect happy moments. That's all I said. And now let me see what it looks like. Can I just open it from here? Anyway, I can paste it. Oh, this will work. Can I not change that crappy domain? This will open it in a new tab. So this, you can go to this URL right now. So if you go to happy-moments-journal.replit.app, this website is live. It works. Now, whether it's working properly yet. So what I was doing earlier is I was typing into the sort of the local version something and it flipped out. So let's just check this is actually working. I saw the sunshine glinting off the canal. Sunshine makes me happy. Spelled wrong. Yeah. Oh, it's really slow. I think it's because I'm live streaming. It's not because of the app. Save moment, invalid date. Well, I thought you'd see what you can do then is you can go back and say, make the default today's date. Like I want you, if you know it's 5th of March today, then make that the default. And so if I don't click anything, I just click OK, you assume it's today. And that will be a better way of it working. You see what I mean? Oh dear, expected date, received string. So what I do at this point, right? So there's something broken in it. I go back to the interface and I say, there's often errors, right? So I say, when I submitted, be good if I could touch type, wouldn't it? Submitted a moment, it said date expected string entered. I don't really need to fix these typos, but let's see what happens. So I'm not telling it there's an error. One of the other things I do is I sometimes screenshot it and I go like, this happened, fix it. And it says the issue is that the ZOD schema, I don't know what the hell it's talking about, expects a date object, but the form sends a date string. I need to handle the conversion on the back end. So it's realized its own mistake and it's now fixing it. That should fix it. The problem is that the data arrives from the browser as a JSON string, but the schema validation expected there. It's talking tech language, but you don't really need to worry about it. Basically, it now works. So if I publish, you should find that this thing, what have I called it? Glean, your jar of happy moments. So this is our app, basically, literally one sentence. Let's have a look at what people are saying down here. Look at the comments. How much control do you have on the questions it asks, for instance? So everything. So I can basically it's guessed all of this from my one sentence. If I said, no, what I want you to do is you can just change it to anything you want. You can say like, I want you to I can never think of happy moments at the end of the day. So can you give me can you go through a process, but will prompt me to come up with them? And then it will go like, well, how about I do this? And you go like, okay, do that. And then it will rebuild it. So to show you this thing I was going to show you earlier. Oh, let me try. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to try. I'm going to try another instance of replit.com. So I'm going to go into Replit in another tab. And then I'm going to start another project because you can do multiple things at once. So where is my? Oh no, that's not what I wanted. I need Claude. Where is Claude? Here it is. So yesterday, when I was brainstorming of Claude, it came up with this quite interesting idea, which a Netflix roulette app with a spinning genre wheel that picks a random movie currently on Netflix UK using a TMDB API. Now, TMDB is the movie database. Claude told me to do this. It said, you can't pull the data from Netflix because it's not public, but you can pull the data from this website called the movie database and say, I want to pull data from what's currently on UK Netflix. And it makes that available through an API, which, as Kieran said, is web plumbing. So it means my app can talk to the app that runs the movie database, pull all the data about the entire Netflix UK listings, and then do things. So what it's going to do is, when the wheel lands on a genre, glossy movie poster, let me hit start because it's going to take a few minutes to get going. And then I'll carry on reading it to you. Is it working? Yeah. When the wheel lands on a genre, a glossy movie poster flies in with the title, rating, and description. Users can save it to a watch list, skip to the next movie, or mark it as already watched to remove it from future spins. Dark cinematic design, smooth animations, mobile responsive. So this was a description from Claude, but I mean, you could type this yourself. The only missing part you probably wouldn't guess, well, I wouldn't have guessed, is that the only way to make this work is to use TMDB. Now, if I'd gone to Replit and said, I want to make this roulette thing with Netflix UK listings, it would have said, you can't get Netflix UK listings, but here's what I can do. And it probably would have come to the same conclusion. Oh, I need the API. So what I did is I registered as a user on TMDB, and I got a key I need. Right, this is it. And, oh, there you go. That's good. You can't see it because you shouldn't really share API keys publicly. Not that this one really matters. So what I did was I registered as a user on TNDB, which is, if you go to it, I assume it's tmdb.com. You can, as well as just browsing for movies and stuff, you can say, give me a key to get into the back door. Oh, what does that mean? It's still thinking, man. Maybe we'll fix it in a minute. And then it should be able to pull the data it needs to create this animation. Let me just get this out of the way. I got on the app, but I couldn't save the moment. So it's still broken, perhaps, at the moment. Dating apps already being built and published live. How much? Right, says Phil. So it just says thinking at the moment. I think I'll leave it to it for a while, and I'll show you this app I built. I've always wanted this to exist, right? What I do normally is every November and every like mid-Jan, I go away for a month to escape the British winter, because it just kind of grinds on. It's grey and dark and, you know, miserable for 4 months of the year or more. And so what I normally do is Southeast Asia is my favorite, but if you're going away later in the year, you can go to Southern Europe. And the problem is finding where to go is surprisingly complicated. So what I did was I built this thing, and what it does is, normally if you have a temperature map thing like this, it shows you the current temperature. That's not helpful, because A, it might be having a freaky, you know, an unusually cold day. And B, it might be the middle of the night in, you know, in the Maldives right now, or early in the morning or something. So what I want to know is, what I've got it to do is show the average daytime temperature over the last 7 days. So the numbers you're seeing here are not the current temperature. They're the average daytime temperature. If I click on the Maldives right now, it brings up a detailed box. It's actually the same temperature. But if I go to somewhere in Southeast Asia, for instance, which is my preferred place normally, if I go to, so Kathmandu, that'll be late in the evening. You probably will, actually, if I go to Mexico, you'll appreciate what I'm doing here. So here's Mexico City. Average daytime temperature is 25, which is really perfect for me. That's my perfect temperature. Right now it's 13 because it's really early in the morning. So this allows you to find place to go really quickly. It also allows you to filter. So you can go, don't show me anywhere it's below 20 degrees because I don't care. And don't show me anywhere that's over like 32 because it's too hot for me. And then what it does, if I zoom out, is it only shows me those places. And then when I click on it, it shows me a detail thing like Dubai right now is actually 25. And it shows the typical direct flight time. So it's 7 hours. And then if I click on that, it goes through to Google Flights and starts doing a search for London to Dubai direct. It also shows internet speed, average internet speed, cost level. I don't know how reliable this data is. I've not really looked at it, but it's interesting. The other really cool thing I wanted to do is when I'm planning one of these trips in advance, you know, a few months out, I want to know what it's going to be like when I go. So say I'm going to go to, you know, I'm looking at going in November, somewhere to Southeast Asia. What I can do then is I can jump on this timeline here to November. All the markers change color. And it now shows me the average temperature, average daytime temperature in November, which is exactly what you want, because you want to go, okay, so if I go in November, it's going to be like 32 degrees in Malaysia. In December, it's going to be A couple of places have got too hot or too cold. I don't know. They've disappeared. You can see the temperature then. So all I did was I built this in Replit again. I put it on my own domain, and what I did was it had an error the first time, so I fixed the errors just like we've seen so far here. And then I added these extra features like being able to fast forward in time and look at different months and that kind of thing. So if you go to sunshineasap.com, you can use that right now. It's live for everybody. It says, it doesn't seem to be, although it says thinking, I'm not sure it actually is thinking. It says page not found. So it is prone to errors at the moment, as you can see. Oh, it says Q. I don't really know what it's doing. I'm going to stop whatever it's doing because it's not working. And then I'm going to tell it, but it's going page not found and nothing's really working. Okay, it's building it now. Working. It's quite scary in a lot of ways, says Kieran. Yep. How about the average temperature this week over the last 5 years? Yeah, that would be better, I think. Carolyn, if you want to commercialize this for digital nomads, you may find expatistan.com cost of living helpful. Oh, nice. Thank you. I'll have a look at that. So what it's doing is going through building this Netflix app now. And hopefully in a few minutes, we'll see it working. I'm going to finish in a bit because I don't want to go on too long. If you've got any questions, post them in the chat right now. It's pretty cool, isn't it? We've got 18 people now all together from between YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Oh, I think it's powering up. So, oh, did you forget to add the... I don't know why it's still saying this. I think it's still working. So I run a membership called the Ideas Lab, and I've been helping people turn their ideas into one-of-a-kind businesses, books, and brands for 20 years now. So in my membership, we got like 3 big streams emerging, I think, for people who are ideas people who love finding, a standout idea and making it work. We got like 3 main streams of thinking, and one of them is to turn your expertise and knowledge into courses and one-to-one services, group programs, memberships, all that kind of stuff. That's what I do most of the time with people. The second thing is helping people turn their ideas. This is the Ideas Lab website. Helping people turn their ideas into a book, a non-fiction book that's really successful, which is something I've done multiple times, as some of you probably know. And the third thing I think that's going to be important is vibe coding, which is what this is called. So vibe coding just means you're coding an app, you're developing an app, but you're not actually doing anything technical. You're just using your instincts and natural language. So, for instance, we've got, as an introduction to this kind of stuff, we've got Mike Gard coming in a couple of weeks, who's going to just do us a 90-minute deep dive of like all the AI tools, what's most useful, how to prompt them, and how to kind of start to get your head around AI, particularly if you're new to it. And we've got, after that, I'm going to do like a dedicated vibe coding course, and we'll bring somebody in probably to do that rather than have me do it. So we'll bring in an expert who's used to doing it. And so if you're interested in joining us, I've got a discount code I remember I set up. So if you want to join the Ideas Lab and actually continue this conversation with me and everybody else in there, it's 35 quid a month normally. But if you enter the discount code VIBE, VIBE, you'll basically get 10 quid off for your first month. So it's 25 quid for your first month if you join by Sunday. So basically you put VIBE in here. I'm doing this so you can actually see. There you go. and that hopefully will work and reduce it to 25 quid. And then after that, it's like 35 quid a month. And if you only want to stay for 1 month, you can do. So there's no commitment, there's no kind of minimum term or anything like that. It's 25 quid, including VAT, I think. Anyway, whatever it is, feel free to use that code. And so we want to continue this conversation about how do you take your ideas, turn it into something that you can make money out of, whether that's a book, a course, an app, or whatever it might be. Oh, look, it's building it. Now let me build the main page and watch this page. Come on. Yes. Netflix roulette. That'll get us sued. All right, are you ready? We're going to spin the wheel. So it's showing me a wheel with all these kind of, oh no, it's loading again. The app is running well. Now let me run the code review. Oh God, okay, we're going to wait for the code review apparently. Let's just press the button while it's doing that anyway. You want sounds, we should add sounds to this. Action, okay. Yeah, but where's it's supposed to then fly in with a suggested thing. So this is normally what I do. This is what I found with Replit. I don't know if others are better. Oh, how easy to sort out payment stuff. There will be ways of doing that. I mean, if you set up a Stripe account, Carolyn, for instance, I'm sure it would be pretty easy to integrate your Stripe stuff. But this is the point when you really want to be careful, because you need to think about the consequences of stuff like that. You need to think like, make sure that it's not saving the credit card info in your app. It's only saving it in Stripe, because if it does save it in your app, you've got to then make sure that your app never gets hacked. Otherwise, it's disastrous. So we are playing at this stage. And I would say if you're really going to try and do something commercial that's key to your business, so it isn't just internal, that's external for other people to use, you do need to think about what you're doing. Has anyone used Bubble? Caroline says, I haven't heard of Bubble. Okay, Kieran says Kyle Balmer is good on vibe coding. I'll have a look at him. Okay. Okay, it's running. Is it going to do something if I spin the wheel? Where's the animation, man? It seems to be doing action every time. Oh, okay. So it's brought this in. Yeah, but I can't see it. You need to kind of, I think I said I wanted it to fly in. Okay. So it seems to be choosing action every single time, but it is kind of working. It's just not doing a very, I thought it would do like a really cool animation or something, but it's not done that. It says here, I've landed on my Netflix. I spun the wheel and now I'm waiting for the magic to happen. The wheel is spinning and the button says spinning. Once it stops, I'll check if a movie card pops up. So basically it's checking its own work as it goes along. All right, I'm going to stop sharing now. And it should bring me back on screen. Give it a moment. Yeah, here we go. All right, was that fun? I think it's amazing. And this is like step one. And by the way, there are vibe coding apps that are now dedicated to do mobile apps. So for instance, there's one called Rourke Max I've seen adverts for and I've seen tweets about. And you can actually build an iPhone app and ship it to the store and have it go through security review, which is one of the things that Apple insists happens, just by pressing a go button, basically. So Kieran says what he's doing is he's talking to people who are creating a minimum viable product in Replit before going and hiring a developer. So that's quite a good model. So what you can do is you can vibe code your app and create this version, but before you ship it, you want to send it to a proper developer and go like, okay, here's the code. If nothing else, to say, I want it to work like this. and the developer makes it from scratch. But more sensibly, they should be able to take the whole code base and check it thoroughly, make sure it doesn't have any security flaws and so on, and that it actually works. I'm going to publish the Netflix Roulette app, and then everyone will be able to get to it. And you'll be able to play with Netflix Roulette Wheel. It's basically netflix-roulette-wheel.replit.app. Yeah, where's okay. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I'd love to see some of you in the Ideas Lab. It's basically, I want this to be the #1 place, the Ideas Lab, #1 place for ideas people who want to make their ideas happen, whatever that means. So, there's a lot of people in there, very creative, lots of ideas. Previously, it was quite hard to make those ideas happen. It's getting easier and easier. The thing that matters now is having a good idea and being brave enough to see it through to the end. The actual process of making it now is so much quicker and simpler, whether that is a course or a vibecode app or even a book. AI can help with that. I've been using my latest book. I've been using AI for the research on everything I'm doing. So come and check out the Ideas Lab if you want to be in a world full of people playing around with this stuff. As I say, it's only 35 quid a month. 25 quid for your first month if you put the code VIBE in there before this Sunday, which is whatever that is, 9th or something like that. Okay, Mike says, well done, John, good job. It kind of worked, didn't it? I mean, I like flying by the seat of my pants, but it is, always a bit hairy as well. Okay, thanks everyone. I really appreciate you coming along live, because I'm sure people will watch this afterwards. But it's so much more fun when you come along live and we can interact and stuff. That was really good. So great to see you all here, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Cheers, everyone.